sikasem ne nso kra obetimi etietia ne kakra ebo anu ape no akofa instrument sorry ahodo ankwankwa nwumeku a modi instrument di mudada adwuma no moto nsa de afro bibia asem mbre no monimu endi dwan kramantem ade omechi akwan no wa Accra Zongo Lane o asante mantem so awode no dum wo mo ne Sambra Hotel no na ebo animhwe instruments ni waka de bia kwai no mo sort out yemfre oni enko dadaba tech hub and also your phones ne ho accessories phone bia wo hia bia fitiyam ekosi iPhone ene kra ne ye phone na abomodin kopi mo dadaba na obenya bi e dia mawo wo pe bi do so promo so to akwakoton wa mo amoton phones no mo de ansem obekọ ye dadaba aso ye ho na nya phones ne nko a e ba ne ho mpempena de te say chargers protectors ene ho nkro no benyina ni nyina no wo e wo na josio mu ho kwa wo be ma obe no so echa akwan no eye kaneshi udru kaneshi a bisabia ya omo paita kwa station e shen no e hope e na dadaba tech hub ne cha akwan no e wo nwumekwei e na omo ekita yebo aba bedu sampempensue ya brani abra no wo mo ebo ye chidom ye de nsem no ebrem semafoforo binum nyina aka we hu ani nyina no mo kan ye ho ne etimidi mum amanebo ne nchemu ahodo no aba be so mo kan ne hye ne so my sentintan fidie no ye was so live KFM TVGH on Facebook and YouTube oko Facebook na follow udru YouTube na no subscribe edi no Afia Fosuah Oduahoma Sresrebidi from Afia mebasisia Sanda semu akwa bazie bo breno adaji adebia ni abra no de dom ye fem ye na yetimide nsem ahodo nchemu no bedan wona me hye nsem na se na nwumre fa ma dia eye amani osem intime call the New Patriotic Party NPP amenu ko no sanse ye General Bosume ne de atwa so wa fimpi mienu ne aduonu nsiemu omo ehwe enu mu se presidential primaries na omo de be hye so na ade hye enu mu a wo makwafa forms na omo hwe enu so metu franka edi amen pipi ameni uko na fimpi mienu ne aduonu wotwe abato eda yenu aye ba beto no eni ade hye enu wo ma hyase bonto asanse omo hwe enu mu se bibia kwa awieye a ade hye betimi di omo kokromoti a chom tisiro ne delegate 2026 January 31st omo beto aba no eyi sa nipa ba akono edi efim na Kennedy akompre kwa Japan kane mrahye bedwani ma ade hye na omo wa sin central abato peso aso wono so eka ho bi na nei wodin sembi tudwa Ninsem o kenyina ne se ba ne sese bi obi di na tem obi kan niamo ho sem bi ne niam bi ensem fatafa ne ho a sebio na no enwu ya na se na su ensi ye se wontimi ma montene beka na adwe na emom no wo hwe sen kabom mapa betimi akoso wo MPP amenu ko nti bi wo ha wo hu ana sebio wa ye ne ho se ejam na no ebu na ninchire na se obebie na no pa kasa de de bi da ne nyina no wo hwe sen kabom mapa wo mu nyina ehwehwe animu no bibia ne betimi akwa emu nhyemu ne nto aso munya for Kennedy akompre kwa Japan de tudwa no eni
Isramu politics na yeye no we want unity in the party enti saa atemdidie ni etro no omutwa no me lifestyle you know me say I can respond but for the sake of unity enti mayedi because no one person can win the flag bearership and win general election if there's no unity. But media, I will give you the message and what I'm going to do. I am talk and do. Me new factory, I'm fired. Me 365 workers, 257 from Ashama. Some say, you must say, and Roma be a mamu. Samunya. Now, Muchama, Ehiamo, Namu Chirmua, Omoba, near Betika Kramau, Kotumaya, you are my brother, and a co opposition will be a brosika Sefa to your bus. I'll tell you the gospel truth. I'll tell you the gospel truth. All those people who are coming to you are telling you, sir, you are my brother, vote for me. Who got to my own brother? We lost miserably. Factors now, my lose and change it won't change. I'm not going to mention it. And like I said, we play tribal or whatever. But those factors won't change. We have to tell you. So if you want power, vote for Kennedy and Japan to create businesses.
So NPP ameni oko no wono makache na sisi amena okase no me koye Ashanti regional chairman eye Bernard Ntwibo esi akwa adodo na friend se chairman wuntumi America kreni de ne ho nsem no etwegu yie pa ne nyina ne se ye efom agudi etro no no mususu se ne ho ebom a ono ankasa eye akonta mine ne ye ne dia wo mankofo to efom agudi no na emu kra ne yoko befa no man hwehwemu mapakọ so de bill 23 suma ni twa ne ho nkro no bai nei ninsem no kromo gusu ehwe nim se omo be kan enya ne pomesibre e wo saa kwan no eso ne nedua me no ka sei no ade sa Ashanti regional communication director the NPP ameni oko no yodmunyan for yepo yando waba be kasa wo che se kosi se ye che Bernard Ntwibo esi akwaye che ma wuntumi no ye ni mobile money account nyina no ye de tabona toso nti ekoba se pape wo se oyi sika bi didi ni dwuma e de ye niema bi no ma ehwo aye din ye pa e de ama no na koni abadie mu no ni nyina na ye sika nenso no se ne ye de ye tabona toso no ekoba se wo nyi sika na se mpo o ma ni sika nkomo obi mfa ndi ni dada adwuma bi a ehwo nsem no akwaye bu achi bi di we na wo che se no ni ade empanyfo aya ama eye chema wuntumi ni ho achiri ni ye pa emunsem wodi tuja say
afokuhwe ma wo say now what is really the problem because na mean how powerful wuntumi was to them what you say na yema emra enya adwuma but say ye use state machinery e dey frustrating nipa baako for sa de me feel say edin onim say chema wuntumi freeze ni mobile money including mobile money ya freeze obi ntimi send sika nkoso onu so ntimi send sika ma obi
apart from the bank account ni ade no mobile money nyina
see or how a job fam wo bible mu no wuntumi abiti no your timing
na obele didi
that is the problem eti ya sema aminu mienu foko e wo say Danny nyina no ye opportunity to speak to Ghanaians yenka no chebe koye minu mienu a ya hwe yi a ye de esu ne bedi achi
ebuse egusu ejina NPP ameni oko no na sanse presidential primaries ne ba be koso ne kofonum no ntro abokwan so no bia gusu ejina mu denden dia o hwe ne mu se delegate ahodo no wo mu betimi ato aba no di amomo na Dr. Brian Champon kane no na ye soafo a wo hwe ye kuaye ne ye nuane ho nsem o man Ghana ho no so ka ho bia wo hwe ni musade hye betimi ato ne so aba na nkundie mapa betimi akọ di ama no me no ka se na due wakwa akopie mu wo ye Kropon North Manfe ai no we poye mantem ani nyina no woni wo mo kwa akokasa se be ya o betimi hu ne mobo na ebre ni dra wo mo aye na doye na bro kopie mu ewe poye mantemo no ene ekropo manfine ho ehuru su ye pa de hye wo ho so ka se omo che se omo nso ogidie mapa woni mu se omo ende ne mu kokromoti che no betimi aboa amankunimdie etimi aba afin so mpuntu nyuma ahodo omo hwe ani mu no owura Dr. Brian Champo wono ene betimi aboa ma se ni suade hunu botaye no bibie etimi ewie peye
eyi akwafu akade eyi yaku afemfu akade da nenti a me support Brian ne se me kwawa ye bi eyi kekeu ni nyuma me kwato wo ho no nyuma ni nipa o hye wo mo no ye se ye mmere obia fa na aba emma Brian na so ba obeso ye asen na ye nyuma ni nyuma pa ebe konkan me kwa kwawu ni me fa enye because of ninti na me kwa kwawu but makoto ni nyuma ni pedi ni hu adanse no see the Brian de ba ebe boayen nti me sre delegate for say obia me anto yen aba ma Brian se kutu se bam
Rosha Dr. Brian Champo stand tall denti na make asa ni campaign ye clean odi ni huni okas ni kasa hotel na mimi e pepeni obi be ka say denti na pepeni on support o nyon ku pepeni ye petumi no kware de ba ko pe because ba bia mi wo yi enche e bia me go wala nti ye pe obi a odi new energy bi beba obe bring both camp together na 2028 akoji tumi no
nti a ema mi di na echi ni say he cares about people's welfare and the mission statement also aligned to mine and plenty people too. And as a youth, so the policies, and I think say ebeboa me and plenty people. That's why I'm supporting him. Me I met me a fan when they say Audrey nipa ho or tima emobia and onye obi a oye njijimu say maybe obehu obi obe no na opampam no de me hu obi sada so openipa and osan aye me.
Se mehwe party ni mena me pe abrante muna ogina ne nanso sesi ya wo twa youth and we need a youth leader papa na nyese say youth bi ya ntini yekofa youth ya nso wa ideas na eba digital ba o me adigedin wo Ghana ha oditwem ne ya Brian Champo ekura no okura double pack of Kennedy Japan SM kura double pack of Dr. Mahmoud Baumia nti mi hu say MPP fu nyina abeti ase anga ba we kura nkan wo say ye contest na ye di tumi no ma no prekope na onu no betumi asele party we na party no etumi ye di din na tumi na ye hwehwe no ye saka
mabunu ni nyina na nti a ye tuadu eye onabo Dr. Brian Champo achi no say ye be hwa other side ne no won kwa ba no ba kon se digital ono ode ba ye ono no so ba ye hwa Brian Champo and the whole Ghana we obi e kan say digital nsema wuntumi nyini mfiri wo hwe apps na nkasa de na adwena build ya aba na eba adwuma bie nso other side ne kan ona bo Brian Champo obi a wa hyede abu adwuma afa nipa bum e wo Ghana the whole West Africa wuntumi nyi ona bo Brian Champo mfi nti obi a watumi asa no me sure say the amambu ni hye ne nsa amabulu nso ebenya adwuma bi say adwuma na ye hwehwe it's about job wuni adwuma wuni ani da so bia nti wa hye enfran say oba wa demonstrate a chance obetumi adi adwuma ma
Ebusi ayen free aye the camp of Dr. Brian Champo ni mbonra Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia. Fimpi mienu ni aduonu na ono ene ejine muhim Frank ama MPP ameni okono enka ne no ye mampani abedi echede ma nanado dankwa Ekufuado. Wono so ka de hye enum ya omo hwe enum se 2026 January 31st ye beto ne so aba na delegate hu ne mobo a obetimi ejinem na fimpi mienu ni aduonu wotwo no so ehim dia ma NPP ameni okono. Wono so edie ena migina sisia na akopi mo kentampo sauta eya ade hye wono mo hon so ede atodwo mo so kire mu se mo so betro aba ne ye pa de amana wo mo hwe nim se nkuni bie betimi akodi amana mo kire mu se afimpi mienu ne aduonu miensa 2023 eye presidential primaries e ko hwe nam so mo to aba no edi Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia no ye 2026 dia ye ba betro MPP ameni okoni mu no wo mo bebo modin ye pa se be ankuni die mapa beko edi amana
na Dr. Baumia ye hye wu nkran ahye wo bo se 2023 ma ye to ma wo 85.7% no 26 January, 31st January next year. Me pese ye nyina ya ti ase se u free class 1 se na okọ class 2 enti e fi 85 wa ye gbatra akọ 95%. Nentia ye sa adwuma yi ni se ye candidates ya omo agina ni nyina omo nyina ya adehye na yewura Bawumia efi se na nado appointed no as a vice president menua why na betimi aka se Bawumia ya na mfomsuo bi sa nipa ho ha okay se doctor enye obi amfomsuo de a ene mi gina nimu ha mi bum kotodwe esra kintampon north mon kasa chairman bawa peace nti mento abamba Bawumia mesramu mabisa mo se obi a doctor aya ne mfomso no o ma yehu saa nipa ni ho se saa nipa ni ho de a mamumfa chairman bawa peace mehu ahi ento aba entia doctor ene domo ya mahu no ha no minim se inshallah 95% no ahwe kura na aboro so ene Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia
ebusia nte no ho asem eno no yen free MPP amani oko no wono maka che ne ento aso nsem foforo enfa emma Ghana man pani abedi eche benfo na anagen no poku agimai wono nso akasa nsem ni mo no ejumedie ne hihye ahodo ebeboa mai man so etimi akọ manim wo saa kwan ne so o kire se obibra mai mu a se be ya man kan kro ne omo nkoso betimi edi mu ye no wo se efatu yakoma prono so na eba ne homehwie mu edwadie mu ne ho nkro no ba ye mamma eda yakoma prono so sanse wuyi ma free bibie mu a enya de se etimi eyiyi nti enka omo mbata ye ho ne ma omo adwene nye ya adwene omo akoma so ade nye yakoma so ade ne efo omo nhye bibia ye mu ekoba saa na se ne ye hwese da achi bi omo betimi aye no sa pepepe ene betimi aba so emu nhye mu ne nto aso wo sansem ne mu eni.
Welcome everyone. For 5 decades, Zonta International, you have championed rights of women. You have touched lives through service projects, education initiatives, and many partnerships. In particular, your association with the United Nations has resulted in support for other initiatives, many of which have had direct impact on our country, and I think on many other countries too. You have complemented the work of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection in advancing gender equality and safeguarding vulnerable groups. That's very important. Important gains have been achieved over the decades. But this year's theme, focusing on women and girls and building a better future, an even better future, is significant. And it calls on all of us to make equality real and lasting. District 18, spanning 12 countries across West, East, and Central Africa, is an example of unity. Our challenges cross our borders, so must
Ewusia yeto ansem ne so etimi edi ama odia eyon munya for kwame champon eba no homesua ho nsem a Professor Kennedy ho na adwene mu abomaye bill panya senketwa na we adesrede no de kwama ebibra man panyifo yina se eba no homesua ho nsem a ye maninda yakoma pono so na yenda de ni ye sene abakosemu no niema ahodo a ye fam wo sa kwan ne hwe ne nam ye homesua ho nsem na ebetimi akọ n'anim nti humesua ho nsɛm ye man sakraye mapa embra se be ya impuntu nyuma ahodo ayehwe animu no yensa betimi.
Is that African governments will be bold enough to own a narrative about African education which they are proud of, which they can use to engage with the international community. It should not be the case that we just take prescriptions. It should be the case that our ideas about learning, education, intersects with what the global world. That's how come we can catch up and actually do even better than what our competitors are doing. You know, so this is quite an important step, and in which one of the things we talk about is language. Language is one key thing that we think is missing, and we talk a lot about the importance of language of instruction in the early years. Yeah.
Right. In all of this, when you say from crisis to possibility, what are you looking at?
Well, well, I think that one of the things that has really made me quite sad about the narrative about the global learning crisis is that there's too much emphasis on the crisis. You know, crisis often gives you, you know, we should look at crisis as opening up an opportunity for us to learn and move forward. But I have worked in many countries in the world, and they don't use the language of crisis. You know, they don't use the language of crisis. I was recently a fellow at the Robert Bosch Academy in Berlin. I spent a lot of time in German schools. They have similar problems that we have. I spent a time in American, in Japanese schools. There are similar problems, but they don't use the language of crisis. They always look at their education in terms of possibilities. So when I talk about from crisis to possibility, I'm talking about what is it that we can do that is possible. Let's not use crisis. And because the crisis always means that we come up with emergency solutions, okay? But the problems are much deeper, and the solutions are actually with us.
Yes, answer minimum na unmunya for Kwame a champo science so kasa ya wo che mi se ba ne ye mofra ne homesua mu a eya na to de bia ho nsem na kwa akoye bibie ho se ni wakwa kopie mu classroom na wo hwe ni mu se cheche ni begina ni ma che na de nim de mapa atu ni tiri no etimi de abobra no eya na ho nsem ni ye nheda mfa ye ni enkoho ye na no mu na o che se wo kwa ye aman foforo so kra se ni omu ho ebi bra man no kono aye se ye mofra ni bi no se ne wo so mo homesua ye no enye sa pepepe na ye na mom ye yi ni na atu nchen nye de mofra na bata ye ho homesua mu ni adanda ne mani a on di osusu dwen se homesua ho sem betimi akona im na fa ne ntimapa e de fra
is that we had constructed the African child, the African classroom in deficit. You know, we look, and often this is also about Africa, we look at Africa in deficit terms. So it's always about what we don't have. Okay, it's always about what we are lacking. Okay, and then there are prescriptions. So if you look at the solutions that are being, the African child is constructed as poor, unintelligent, needy, needing help, needing redemption.
Okay,
and these are ideas being put. So this is how we've approached the solution, approach the problem, and teachers in the same way. So we've given teachers tools to solve the problem. We haven't talked about what is it in the African classroom that makes it children succeed and learn.
Okay.
And this is what my research found. So in the African classroom, what we found was that we have to have an African identity when it comes to the African classroom. And there are characteristics of this identity that are very essential for improving learning.
Right.
I don't know whether, you know, maybe I'm going ahead of myself, but the thing is that we found, now you remember I said there are millions of children out of school. In Africa, it's a big problem. We found that children who have been out of school after 3 years, 2-3 years, who are dropped out because they were not learning, we took those children and gave them a 10-month accelerated learning program. And the gap that had been created as a result of the fact that they had dropped out was closed. And then when we tracked them, they even outperformed children in school.
The 3 years of absence from school, you were able to accelerate the education in 10 months.
In 10 months.
And they were able to close that gap.
Yes, definitely.
That's amazing.
Yes, we did it in Ghana, in Ethiopia, and in Liberia.
Wow.
So then we asked the question, what is the problem? The problem is not the child. The problem is us. The problem is what solutions we are offering. what is it that we are doing wrong? And you see, we have projected the problem onto the African child. You know, if you look at images of African children, if you take books and documents, the African child is projected as somebody without any agency, without any ability to express their knowledge. You remember I talked about my own experience.
Indeed.
You know, it's the same thing that is mirrored there. But we were able to take 10 months in all these 3 countries. In northern Ghana, we have the School for Life program, what we call also complementary basic education. We've managed to take over 250,000 Ghanaian children who are out of school back into the mainstream system just after a year. You know, so it made me ask myself, the problem is not really the child. And what is it that we have created in the African classroom that is made this successful? So this goes... You know, I've gone back a little bit, but this comes to your question. And so the book that we've written, what we're talking about is what did we find that makes the African child so successful? You know, when I shared the data, the evidence with the Ethiopian government, they were very skeptical. And they were worried. Now, they were skeptical and worried because if you think about it, 3 years of education, you know how much it costs? For a child for 3 years.
For 3 years.
So I remember the Ministry of Education in Ethiopia asked me, are you saying that we are spending three times as much as we need? And you're able to do that? We said yes. Months. And they achieved the same results? I said yes. Wow. So it makes economic sense. If we can get children to be able to achieve the levels we want them to achieve, then clearly we are in a shorter period.
Yo, I'm on for and I am Makwaba at the bar, a KFM musical shopper. The Tosumi, no, who free a Kumasi Macom that Damono, a sunny at the bar at Dumino, Sabran Udu, a Sambra Junction, Sambra Hotel, Quantana Sope. Now shop no any Sambra Hotel and the Dinsha anymore. Would the free Sambra Hotel, a sunny at the co, Nankane and Hagan Hono, Annie, a ho and a KFM musical shop. Ye Tosumi, no, ye bien no fofro. Now the air can say, if you papa a timiche, the odia sorry, the Tuma de bia wudi obehia eye mfidie mechira musical instrument bia no eye KFM ento wo se Ghana muntie Asantema muntie eye KFM musical shop ana sabre ya bia no foforo mu no chan ewo Prempeh the 2nd Street wo free old man come down na wo sane ede ko adum no ane udu Sambra Hotel kwantane so na wa dane on sanifa so oho ana KFM musical shop yi ewo yene Sambra Hotel ana ehwe animo ye twa abrebia
gina mese se be proud ana se me ye dwa me free Kumasi edun KFM instrument store obi bi sasa se bo me fo dia what to no woni sida what dey near my papa e gina wonim na what to no say yes what to no bibi aka wakoma free KFM instrument store Kumasi Edum. So me jina na me tonyo ma bitimi nya ho me kafi se fidi papa nu anim na me jina no. Wo betra ye ko ma ya do se kana twananka kaneu ensemfu ayi.
Looking for the perfect door to welcome you home? Step into Afrotino Doors Company, where Turkish quality meets unmatched security. We specialize in all metal Turkish security doors, built to last, available in single, 1.5 and double sizes. Choose from luxurious designs with metal and wood finishing, paired with advanced locking systems, from central locking to triple hook locks and double locks for maximum protection. We also offer Chinese security doors in single, 1.5 and double sizes, delivering quality at the right price. For timeless elegance, explore our solid local wooden doors, crafted from Afromosia, Mansonia, Redwood, and more. Whatever your dream design, we can create it in the wood of your choice. Plus, we have imported wooden interior doors from both Turkey and China, perfect for giving your home that sophisticated touch. And that is not all. From pivot doors to fire exit doors, PVC doors to cement doors, Afrotino Doors Company has every style for every need. Enjoy special promos every Friday and Saturday only at Afrotino Doors Company. Visit us today at Basket Junction, Spinters, or call 0244 371 348. 0274 722 448 or 0256 321 708. Afrotino Doors Company, strong, stylish, and secure. Afrotino Door Company, creating quality homes.
Mama Sanda Semwa Kwaba being found brain, Renuncia Cassian so KFM TV, yet I see a pie cotton crowd swaka your home. Yantuan some next name you may and farm out Diania Quassia, ya, Shay and Sasson home some or mine Ghana, Hayelans Ministry no. The name no Cassia, Monsa Babeca saw Mushem says, see, no more boy, Juma party so near from a good year to Galamsea, and penny for sharing said to Betty Matra, no much as so, Sia did, be actually say. Abine ye juma pa na abasa so ye hon so mo ye di ombetimi bia san se emu na akra ye blue water gas amampanyi ti ya ni na ehwe amansa sene so ni afi yensu anso ahodo na dini no wo che so mo ho yo mo fro so kra 9 moscow ni so wo ha ene wo mo chichi ade hye bi no wo mo hye ye nkwaye mu etu ye nsase no nke nsase ni mfumtu eyi sika wo mu die go mo kotoko mu nyina no mo chichi o mo o se oni ye kasa sisi ade yes excavators ahodo be se dumienu de abeka wono mensa chanfan ahodo nso mo de adwuma si nsuo ni so eputo nsuo no eyi efom agudie ni nyina no mo chesa ba beka o nsa ni nyina no hwehwe mu mapa ekoso ewo sansem
on the old green area. For excavators, we've got about 12 of them. Motorbikes, we've picked about 5 motorbikes. 4 excavator batteries, some computer monitors, heavy-duty water pumps, 2 of them, several fuel drums. And last week, the minister had mentioned the issue of the fuel drums, and it's a conversation that we are having with the NPA on how to tackle this fuel trade that is also, I'm going to use the word again, fueling the illegal mining activities. Multiple makeshift structures, because usually they set up these campsites there. So if you saw from the videos, lots of makeshift structures which were destroyed. 24 pumping machines, 20 chanfans, almost all of them were burnt. Actually, all of them were burnt. And then other tools, boards, equipment, and things like that were all found and destroyed. So basically, this is the activities that we have, the team undertook in the course of the week, focusing on the 2 pillars within our strategy, which is
everywhere na ya to ansem ne so e dia ma o eye held gold fields so mo aye dwume die ni hihye kwa de ne magu akwan ma me no ka say die edwume esen ba bekoso bi mpa o bogoso pristia mine so mo che se America kreni no na e ho nsem kan ne nkoyie e me ho tai din kakra na ne dua me no ka say die o ma say bi atum edwuma e ba be sha se na managing director e de mai koyie Patrick Apia Mensa on ejine ma what is ansem we etudwa.
We're running our process plants. We are bringing material from the open pits. We are dewatering underground. So our operations are technically started.
When do you expect to complete the dewatering exercise?
Dewatering of the underground pits, we expect by end of the first quarter, we should be at the 24 level.
First quarter of next year?
Yes, first quarter of next year. We are pumping 12 million liters of water on a daily basis. The investment that we've made in the mine so far, about $75 million, have been spent, and some of them committed to revive the mine. The work that we've done, pumping water from the underground, making sure that the underground is safe to be able to operate. So the Prissy underground is in a healthy condition. We are watering the place, and there is no risk of a failure because of the water situation. On the process plant too, we've done a lot of work. We've started to test run the process plant as of yesterday. When we go there, you see that the plant runs intermittently as we fix the issues. So we're busy reopening the mine. We've given employment to currently about 700 people between our employees at Cape Goldfields and then that of our business partners that are operating.
Yejina so ahani adan ni eba ye 27 so ewe dwedie emu. Etwansem ne so wedwedie mu edi ama odia enche bia na Ghana Committed Drivers Association eye GCDA ombedi betu dwo mu chem se ye DVL empanyifo ade sesisi ano mo de fees ne charges bebre na ebu omuko mu ani nyina no ensem fata namra kwan so a ene omubu omubukata ewo sa kwan ne so ne due so ameno ka se DVL empanyifo so aba monti na omo chese de bi omo entimi mfa omo nsanko meti enji sika no nsem fatan free omo botom na emom no sika omo gie ene fine ahodo omo di to omo ti so bia no mpanyifo agi atomu a efrimra hyebedwe fia ne nyina no mo nso nim se sika we no omo gie asa no metu sa na mo na se omo ankasa aka omo tira bomu no omo bu ebi mu bukata wo sa kwan ne so omo chese da bi no kwa bia eni.
It happened that as I asked the directors, they were of the view that yes, some level of education was done. And I still didn't feel that this is a new administration. Let us also follow the process. So let's do education first. Then from education, we move on to the field. So, I mean, it is, I don't know where that information is coming from. No one from anywhere has called me that I should put it on hold because no pressure for me. It's just that it's always good to educate people before you implement any law. But the law has been there. It's been implemented from 2012. And from 2012, charges have been made to people. Just that we came into office and we made the process more efficient and effective. Because when we came into office, we had only 6 compliance officers that were doing this. And we said, no, there is no level of efficiency. So now let's involve more compliance officers. We've just mechanized them. That is all. There is no pressure from anywhere. And we are going to train them well, equip them with the law. Then we'll put them back on the street. It is never illegal. We have the law here. It is never illegal. So this is just a platform to inform minorities in parliament that if it's illegal, how come when MPP was in power, they did this process for 8 years. You've done something for 8 years. You are in opposition for 10 months, and you are saying what you did for 8 years is illegal. I mean, how? Where from this? So for 8 years, they were practicing what is illegal because we only came to continue what they were doing. So it can never be illegal. If it's illegal, they should hold themselves responsible.
Afia Fosuah na ebede edwa say ye ECG wonum containers ahodo bebre na yira e Freeport na ne omo hwehwe animu se omo nsa betimi aka na afim so bia ya containers netimi afa no wonum betimi ehu ye wo ha nche bia no msan so beka se containers no womo nsa etimi aka ne nedua me no ka se onmunyafo John Abdullahi na po a no yesoafo a wo hwe ye nyina mahoden se mo man Ghana ha no waba be kasa wo chem se ne mpanyifo edin hihye ni ne megu akwan mu a eye containers ahodo ayira emu report ne ho nkro no banyina no wo mo di akwa akopie mu wa Attorney General nim eye Dr. Dominic Ayini se hwehwemu mapa ne na pamfo enkoso pa se ne Ghana fo bi no mo hwe animu se o metimi enya sa asem ne ho pemesi bre na enche bia wo mo de sa report ni mu nsem no ebeba betu edwa ne nsem yento aso frama.
And your management came to tell me that they've awarded contracts about 9 billion when the board approved contracts for just about 3 billion. And you can check from the records. You are given a threshold at the board of 3 billion, and you end up spending about 9 billion. And it's not as if you spend 9 billion. You've given contracts so much so that the containers, when they get to the port, you don't even have money to clear the containers. So one, you are incurring cost of 9 billion. Two, you are not using the items because they are stuck at the port. Three, you are paying demurrage for the containers stuck at the port. So as minister, I have had to work extra hard with the other stakeholders. And I want to thank the GAPOHA staff, the chief executive, and to thank the national security coordinator and his staff. And thank the chief of staff of Madam Valerie Sawyer and co. for helping us to move those containers. It's been a very, very difficult task. But like I said, we should never go that path again. And as minister, I will not tolerate that. If it happened in the past, it must not happen today. We funded a full document to the Attorney General. He's studying it. And if people are found culpable, I'm very confident that the law will take its course. We are not victimizing anybody.
One nsɛm ni mo asan so di to dwa wo kyerɛ mu sɛ yɛ nyina ma hoden nsɛm no se sɛ ade bibia no etimi ekɔ nanim ye pa san sɛ ɛyɛ saasɛ yɛ hɔ no ɛne afɛn so ɛyɛ power producers independent power producers ɔmo so aka bɔ mu a ne nyina no sika no so mo bɛ sɛ $300 million na nei yɛtimi ɛde atro hɔ a ɛno aboa ɛma saasɛ yɛ hɔ no etimi kɔ nanim ɛwɔ saa kwan no so.
IPPs, and based on the numbers I'm seeing, I'm confident that we can save a lot of money. And so far, what the IPP renegotiating team has done tells me that we are saving about $300 million from the IPPs. The previous administration did their bid. We've also come to improve on it, and that is what we ought to be doing. It's not always about politics. Let's sometimes put the nation's interest first. If we do it for Ghana. And so I don't care your political affiliation as you sit here. In 4 years' time, you will determine what happens. But before the 4 years, let's put VRA first, let's put Ghana first, and let's work and turn around this sector. This year's budget is giving us $28 billion, not for investments, but to pay energy sector shortfalls. If it continues like that, next year will be $35 billion. If we don't stop it, what it means is that eventually, energy sector shortfalls alone will consume the whole budget, and it's not sustainable. So I've been working with the team aggressively to turn around that unfortunate scenario so that eventually we can win the energy sector of the national budget. And from what we are paying, from the revenues we are generating, from the improvements that we are making, I can see that there's light at the end of the tunnel, even though there's more to
Eguswejina nensem ni mo na odi nensem bewe osan so di tudwa wo kire mi se we di futuo pa ne adestrede no de kwa ma o maimu ni nyina se hu behia ye se ye VRA Voter River Authority nkayemfa sika mapa enhyemu se be ya eba na enyina ma hode nsem anu so se na edi mu tintimba no bibia no betimi akoye san se o kire mu a ekoba se ye to ye nyima hode ni afen so power supply ahodo free IPPs ne ho a sika no so mo be say $840 million na ye hwere afi mu ni nyina na ekoba si ye dan ye ni dia hwe VRA na tumi ni afen so dwumadie ne hihye mapo mu hia ne di gu akwan mu amomo a ebebo amasa sika afie bia ye hwere no ye betimi dia tro ne dia ye bibi papa e dia bo amasa so ye woni nyina ma hode nsem ne so etimi afa ne ntemapa.
That is supply to anchor. And look at what Akosombo and Pong has done. And I was telling your chief executive that my experience with the IPPs has shown me that we have to invest heavily in VRA. If you do the economics today, you look at how much we pay to IPPs every month. We were taking a bold decision and decided, look, the tariffs we are charging today, let's escrow those amounts into an account. We're talking about 70 million every month, US dollars. That is on the back of the envelope, 700, 140, $840 million every year, not cities, times the number of years the IPPs have been operating. Don't you think that if we had escrowed this money, we would have built more thermal plants at VRA and sell the power at a cheaper price? But the reality is that sometimes we all pretend. So when we have VRA, we say that don't charge tariffs. Because it's VRA. So we pretend.
Ebusa yenjina sanse mi so e na edwedi ensem no yemfa mbrawie ye dan ye ho ye ba ye wie bibia e wa ho sepemu.
Fofra ba edwaso ni o yanom ehyen a use fuel we so yensesa oil ne wo hia ene ni key ehyen egumechi nyina eye lip motor Giomi anase nami eyemu bia won sabeka wo KFM Limited e wo Ghana ha lip motor abefu cancer abi yanom emwedene sanso efe wa hwe interiors here ka hear me timusisi ya ne try no lip motor e was 3 modes of driving obetimi a switch so open temo a obe na sports mode so person will save you battery a obetimi use economy mode na say wo pentem na wo pe wo normal riding so a your friend standard wo charge your battery within 6 hours a ebetumi di wakokumasi aba metre 310 kilometers into woni how ubetumi so the 3 hours fast charger a charge na mana you full bonama na wakokumasi aba say no me try the aka no Giomi ni awo hia ne key make sure say key ne ben wa wo hwese na interior on it na black and white papa so no FSN yo wa hwe screen tentin e bo ma hu car no battery aka na ma hu mileage nso e wo so we so de etu kwan 320 kilometers and sana was a charge ubetimi a charge in 6 hours fast charger ye 3 hours abefu efidie yenso ubetimi a drive no in 3 modes a standard sports and na say economy so wo pentem to say me a yanom choose sports wa say ubetimi to kwan fi hakokubase ama wo battery ni bi so aka because a 320 kilometers wo charge in 6 hours ubetimi nya full battery na wonya fast charger so 3 hours per you're set making sure so okay ni ka ho nya sa wa kem ubi e do na start Chili Giobi black and white makoma swat man san ka de yen check the aka no nya no abefo de ni mu ba ko ni o de awunya no key making sure so key ni ben nya sa wa kem wheel no f leather na ewo mu no so dance eye gray ni yo ma hodo mienu de ni hakakra ene de mu odu esanso was screens mienu wey e ma information a hunya wo car ne ho nyina ase be sia bonnum papa your friend entertainment ya wo hia no ane e best ubetumi so driving in 3 modes just like the others standard and I say sports so open tema car we so e betumi etu kwan akokumasi aba 330 kilometers Chema udu kra betumi jesi so no wabonyum kakra ansa na edu wo charge in 6 hours no so betumi so charge no 3 hours your friend no fast charge eyinu mu nyina KFM Limited ene de ya be twaso fraying ne me sanka wo de ententem so open installment a high purchase and twentwen wo na ase we've got you solid Yanume, on sabetumi aka fidie mu bia e wo KFM Limited. On sabeke fidie no na wotua no nkakra we unya no bebia age KFM Limited. Fraying, ever sort out.
Yes, my parents are Jamaican. Yes, but